Hey guys, I just saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Okay, so I'm going to cover the good parts first because the good parts are non-spoilery. The good parts were that the turtles were good. They were the best part of the movies. The you know there wasn't any character derailment on their part. In fact, that's not something I fault Michael Bay for in any of the Transformers movie is because he has consistent characters. Are they good characters? No, but they're consistent. People joke about Sam Witwicky being no, but Shia LaBeouf, Shia LaBeouf. Anyway, they joke about him, but it's not. The characters aren't bad in the Transformers film. At least I don't think so. It's when, the characters exist only for a joke. None of these characters actually existed for a joke. Even Megan Fox as April O'Neil, she wasn't just a sex symbol. So, it's the characters are good. And consistent between everything, you know. Turtles act like the turtles. Splinter acts like splinters. Splinter. It's those are the good points. The action sequences are great. I liked a lot of the action, a lot of the stuff, a lot. I mean, it's Michael Bay. You're going to get a lot of good action sequences. So I'm I'm not faulting the movie on any bad things from there. Even even the lewd jokes are kept to a minimum and in the background. So even those like really awkward innuendo gags, they're they're in a place where they're not needed, but they're in a place where you don't notice them. So you're not like, oh, whoa. So the story, and here's when I get into spoilers. In fact, I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to click off if you don't want spoilers. So, and to gather my thoughts. Okay, so the story sucks so hard. Okay, I'm going to get into the origin story for the turtles because that okay, so congratulations, 1991 movie. You're off the hook for stupidest uh, origin story ever. Okay, because in the 91 movie, and I'm not going to be comparing the 91 movie because these all these incarnations of the turtles, they have to stand on their own. So in the 91 movie, it was explained that Splinter knew ninjutsu from watching his owner Hamato Yoshi, practice, the art from his cage. So Splinter would watch Hamato Yoshi practice the art, and Splinter, memorized the moves, memorized all of the art. And in this movie, he just happens to find a book about ninjutsu. First of all, who throws away a book of ninjutsu? Isn't that supposed to be like an ancient art that's usually for family heirlooms? But that's nitpicky. But it takes away from the mystique of Splinter. Splinter's supposed to be an old master who either learned from Hamato Yoshi or is Hamato Yoshi, depending on what continuity you're going for. And he's he chooses ninjutsu because that's what he knows. Is- So that's what he appropriates. This is just like, well, they're going to be considered freaks. Gotta find something to channel that into. Oh, hey, look, a book about being a ninja. That's cool. Like, why? Why? And, um, like, they tied it into April O'Neil in kind of a really ridiculous way. Like they were all lab test animals for a lab that April's dad worked at, and that was how they also got the mutagen. They would get tested for, just they would test the mutagen because it was supposed to be a drug to be sort of a cure all, to cure like poisons and stuff. It was supposed to be, a regenerative serum. That was the mutagen, and they one lab accident later, or they're April takes them out to the sewers and saves them from the fire, and the mutagen, courses through them, and they mutate into, the half-human hybrids. And it was part of Project Renaissance, and they actually had their names because they were named after, you know, the Renaissance painters. It's kind of leaps and bounds. But the thing that like sticks out to me the most is that Splinter kind of chooses the way Splinter kind of gets into ninjutsu really bugs me. So that whole thing with just finding a book about ninjutsu and then learning it, that bugged me. I can sort of take, the turtles at least being lab subjects because it doesn't really matter what the turtles were before they were mutated. It really matters is what they grow into. So, uh, uh, the Shredder has a plan, and the Shredder is teamed up with another scientist. I forgot his name already. Like, it was Stax? Yeah, Stax. I don't know why. I don't know why they chose things from the movie that they chose things in the movie that you can already could place have a place as a placeholder for another character. So I don't know why it wasn't like Baxter Stockman or something. Even if it wasn't like, even if he doesn't mutate, you could just say, "Oh yeah, that's Baxter Stockman," and no one would know. No one would even raise an eyebrow because Baxter Stockman, and that's a common name, I think. But it's it's Stax. So Stax was doing the mutagen formula because Shredder wanted to rule New York by poisoning the air, and Stax was going to make the cure-all so that he would make money from that. How exactly does that help Shredder take over the world? Oh no! Like, was the like I can see the gambit of making Stax look like the city's hero, the state's hero, because that's just standard. You make the money, but how does that gain Shredder power? Like, I don't get it. And Shredder, his characterization was alright, I guess. There wasn't much of a character. It was just, your evil overlord behind the shadows shtick. And, it was kind of just weak. The story was just weak at best. You know, you couldn't get into it. So that's the story. You, hmm, just bugged me, but it's better than Transformers in the way that at least you knew who everyone was. At least, at least it wasn't like Leonardo and these other three turtles. It was, you could see that each one of them was Leonardo was the leader guy. He was no nonsense. He was the leader. Donatello was the nerdy guy. Raphael was the hard hitter. You know, it was sort of gangster like. And Michelangelo was the party dude. You know. Oh, so that was pretty much it. So I was like, oh god. Also, a big thing was that they. I'm going to go into the Marvel movies now. When you watch a Marvel movie, you sort of watch out for all these neat little references in the movie. You know, oh, you know, somebody will say something about the duck, and people will say, no, we don't talk about him, or something. You know, people will say something, will sort of make a small nod to whatever is outside of the MCU. Even in Agents of Shield, you know, you had and communicators in silver dollars or quarters. I don't know. Um, that's a reference, but you don't get it unless you're not a fan. You don't get it unless you're a fan of Marvel stuff in general, and you know that esoteric knowledge. You know, here they tried that and failed. They tried to mention Usagi the samurai rabbit. I don't even Usagi Yojimbo. I think that's the comic's name. They tried to reference that in the movie. It's not. It's kind of groan worthy because if you're not a fan, you still won't get it. But it's groan worthy to the people who know it because it's just like, oh God, you referenced that. You didn't like. It's like it's like a bad pun, except instead of wordplay, it's kind of mythology play. You know, you know, it's a really shoehorned in reference, and you didn't really need it. So, you know, they tried. It wasn't good, but they tried. So, do I recommend it? No. Well, let me rephrase that. If you don't mind that the story was that weak, yeah, you should go. If you only want to see like the turtles being the turtles, you know, it's not going to mess with that. It's not it's not going to ruin your perception of the turtles. That's the best thing I can say about it, but it is a weak movie, so that's all I have to say. So I've been Rico Fernandez. You've been you. This has been the Ninja Turtles. The trailers weren't that great either, but I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.